Hi, I'm Roberta. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Lebanese yogurt sauce, which just might be one of the most versatile sauces you've ever come across. I'm going to serve it with some braised lamb shanks, but it's the same sauce that's used for shish barak, which are the little lamb-filled dumplings that are cooked in yogurt sauce. It's sometimes used to cook kibbeh, and sometimes eggs are poached in it. I feel like there's other things too. They'll come back to me as we talk. So this yogurt sauce comes in two parts. It's yogurt, a good thick natural pot set yogurt that we're going to stabilise with a little egg, and it's a garnish, if you like, of garlic, some herbs, mint and coriander. Now if you don't like coriander, and I know there's some people that don't, you could always use parsley, and of course a good dose of salt. We're going to fry that off in some butter and keep it separate till the end. So let's do that first. A couple of things I want to tell you about chopping herbs. So our mint, we don't want the stems when we're chopping mint, so we're just pulling all the leaves off the bunch or off the sprig. Now once we've got them all off, we're going to stack them up on top of each other. Now if you've cooked with me for a while, you might have seen me do this before. It's certainly how we slice kaffir lime leaves when we're cooking Thai food. So get them all into a nice neat bundle. These little ones can just go on top like that. And then we roll them. We roll it up into a roll, and slow and steady, unless you've got great knife skills, we're just shaving it basically as finely as we can. Now with the kaffir lime we want it super fine. With mint it's not so important, and depending what you're doing with it, you can then just go across the other way just to get that more finely chopped. Now that's the best way I know to chop mint. With the coriander, we do want some of the stems, and you could do that with a much larger bundle of mint too. With the coriander, I like to separate them and stack them all so that the leaves are at the top. Don't worry if the stems are a different length, because it's mainly the leaves we want, but we want some of those stems. And a couple of other things. When you get these beautiful little vivid green ones in the middle, I often set them aside for a garnish and give the roots a good scrub. Pop them in a freezer bag, in a Ziploc bag, and pop them in the freezer, because you're going to use those when you're making Thai curry pastes. These ones can go in here today, and then, similar to rolling the mint leaves, we're just going to fold this down but leave it on the stem, and again just slicing finely. It makes one sound when you're cutting through leaves. It makes a different sound as you get further down to more or less just stems, and you'll know when that's happening by the sound. So then you can pull those apart. These don't have to be wasted. They can go into a salad. I know when we cooked Chinese with Andy Evans, he used coriander stems in the Guangxi style salad that we made with smoked trout, and also with char siu, with barbecue pork. So again, just another run through with a sharp knife, so we're not mashing them, we're just slicing them, and there we have them nice and fine. I've already crushed up some garlic. We're going to fry this off in some butter. We're working with yogurt, so sometimes Lebanese food uses olive oil, sometimes it uses butter. For this we're using butter. Let's go to the stove and get frying. So our butter's melted. In with our garlic. We're on a medium heat, and we're just going to let that cook for a couple of minutes until it starts to sizzle. Now how long that takes exactly is going to depend on your pan and your heat. Let's see. So that's just starting to sizzle. In with our mint, in with our coriander, in with a good dose of salt, and let's just give that a stir around. Give it a couple of minutes until those herbs are well and truly wilted. So that's just been another couple of minutes. It's starting to sizzle again. It smells yummy like garlic bread, and you can see those herbs are nicely wilted. So we can take that out of the pan and set it aside. So here's our lovely herb and garlic garnish. Don't wash up the pan. We're going to use the same pan to cook our yogurt sauce in, and we'll just pick up whatever little bit of flavour is left in the pan. Now, natural pot set yogurt, as I said. Sometimes this is thickened with corn flour, sometimes with egg. Lebanese Food Authority Anissa Halou recommends egg, and that's the path I go down. The corn flour changes the texture slightly, and the egg binds the sauce beautifully, so I've never had it split. So we just give the egg a gentle whisk before we start. There we go. Now, I always use kilo of yogurt for this recipe. You could halve it, but then you're going to use half an egg. And I just always find that messy. But absolutely, if you don't think you're going to use a whole kilo of yogurt, make it with half an egg. Whisk the egg, weigh it, throw away half, use it in an omelette, do whatever. But this freezes really well too. And as I said, I remembered the other thing you can use it for. You can use it to cook the stuffed zucchinis that we're doing this month as well. The zucchinis filled with mince and lamb are sometimes cooked in this yogurt sauce. So as I said, super versatile. Freeze it and use it for another dish. Let's give it a good whisk. We want it nice and smooth, and we want that egg well incorporated. All right, there we go. That's messy. That's nice and smooth. Into the pan and onto the stove. Let's go. Now the next part takes a bit of patience. We want it over a medium to medium high heat, and we want to stir it constantly because we don't want to end up with scrambled egg through our yogurt. We want to bind the sauce a little bit like when we make a custard. We want the milk and the egg to combine completely. Here we want the yogurt and the egg to combine completely. So medium high heat, as high as you like, so long as you can keep stirring and your sauce isn't sticking or going lumpy. Now a liquid this thick isn't going to bubble and boil, so you'll know it's starting to boil when you see it giving off steam, and I hope you can see that. How long it takes is going to depend on how brave you are with the heat, but go low heat and take longer rather than high heat and risk splitting the sauce. Now that it's steaming, we're just going to stir it for another 3 minutes. I just want to make sure that that egg has really bound it so that it's not going to curdle later. Adjust the heat if you need to so that it's just simmering. So there we go. I'm not sure how well the video's capturing the steam, but hopefully you can see there's a little bit of steam just coming up out of that. That's what we want. I've been stirring it for 3 minutes now. I'm going to turn it off. I'm confident it's stabilized. Let's have a taste. Now, if you've used a good yogurt, it's going to be quite sour, and it's going to need a bit of salt to balance out that sourness. So now's the time to season it. Have another taste. Yep, that's great. Now, we're just going to set that aside to cool. We could have made this a day ahead. We could have made it a week or a month ahead and frozen it. So here we have it, our beautiful yogurt sauce and our fried off herbs and garlic. Now, typically that goes in there now, but I like to keep them separate until the last minute because depending what you're doing with them, I often either just stir this through at the end or add it as a garnish. This month for my online Lebanese cooking class, I'm going to be serving this yogurt sauce with lamb shanks for the Laban imu. But you could be poaching shish barak in it, you could be poaching eggs in it, you could be serving your kibbeh or your stuffed zucchini in it. Certainly add this if you want, but with certain dishes, I think scattering it over at the end gives a nicer presentation. So Lebanese yogurt sauce, very versatile, freezes well, reheats well once it's been stabilized with the eggs. Enjoy.